Good afternoon, folks. I've kind of leveled up today because I was able to shed one outer layer on my ubiquitous fleece coat. I actually was out in the kitchen an hour or so ago and was starting to feel a little bit warm in it. So, like, woohoo! Now I'm down to just like 4 layers. Yay! And here back in the closet, I feel pretty cozy without the down jacket as well. I keep the hat on because it really does help preserve my body heat and covers up the bad weak hair that I am sporting this week. I'll get a hair appointment in a few weeks. No, I won't. um, so another good level up thing that happened was going into the main room, which is the chilliest, second to chilliest room in the house. The front room I totally ignore. That's like the mud room that stays, continuous 25 degrees in the winter, and then in the summer it's like I don't know, 85, 90 degrees. Anyway, the main room, which is where my bed is, and the bulk of my clothing and some books and things, papers, my work in progress piled up on the desk. That room is now 40 degrees. So I hit 40 degrees today for the first time in about 4 or 5 days. So yay. And I know that because there's a thermostat on the portable electric heater that's in that room that I just kicked on about an hour and a half ago. So yay, 40 degrees in the main room. I actually spent the night in the closet uh, last night. So it was the third night for me to do so. And I slept really good. Great. I mean, I'm loving it back here, especially with the little ceramic heater on, which I kept on for about 5 or 6 hours continuously. Thank goodness, knock on all the wood and the compressed, you know, wood and the sheetrock that comprises this place, apparently. Um, yeah, I've had no outages, no experience of being without electricity, except for my own doing. As I said in an earlier video, I've created my own little rolling blackout system so that I don't have appliances on when I'm not even in that room. And then if I know I'm going to be in a room for a extended amount of time, meaning 1 or 2 hours, then I'll preheat the room a little bit before I spend time in there, such as in the kitchen cooking or in the main room doing stuff um, on my desktop computer, looking for files or, just hanging out up there. So yeah, I've, not had any power outages, though I do know of plenty of people who have. My sister also was without power for an extended period of time, and she was one of those people that was out in her car charging the phone. She paid a visit to a grocery store yesterday, I believe, and it was an Albertsons, and the lights were out. There was no lighting in the store, and possibly no heat. But she said she couldn't tell because she was so bundled up. She couldn't tell if there was heat or not. So she was kind of looking around to see what might be available. She said they were severely lacking in a lot of ready to eat foods. Apparently, convenience stores, are mostly out of snack foods, which are convenient for people who don't have power right now, because you don't have to cook them and they're non-perishable. Apparently, there are fuel shortages where I guess delivery trucks have not been able to refill the the pumps at the various gas stations and convenience stores around Texas. Um, I heard on the radio about a person who in Grapevine, Texas, which is a little it's north of Fort Worth where I live, having been out had no power access for 72 hours and running, in her home. So 72 plus hours, no electricity in their home. So there are situations like that happening around this area and beyond, because Texas is a huge state, and I'm hearing the stories, reading about them online, and it's just really heartbreaking. And I know there are organizations, I forgot which one, had emailed out a call for folks to send donations so that colonias, people, residents living in colonias, which are kind of where they're not like actual cities, but they're kind of like groupings of residents living on land, and it's kind of a hostile environment because you don't have plumbing, you don't have sewage systems installed, and often people don't have electricity. Um, what is the term when they're not an official town? They're something. Anyway, colonias is the Spanish language name we give. They're like colonies, I guess. That's the English translation. So yeah, there was this a nonprofit asking for donations to send to them so that they could disperse some uh, some monies to these families who are really struggling. If I can remember the name by the end of this talk, I'll share that, or maybe I'll add it as a note somewhere else. So yeah, things are getting better personally for me and my situation. I still have no hot water, so I'm doing the boiling thing. Fortunately, I'm not compelled to boil water because of water treatment outages anywhere near here. The water treatment center that services my residence where I live apparently has been online without interruption. So there's been no compulsion to boil water in order for me to have access to healthy potable water. I'm boiling water because my hot water spigot, the faucets, no hot water is coming out. So I don't know, maybe my hot water heater is out. I don't want to ask anybody to come over, COVID, and road conditions are bad. So I can just do the boiling water thing. I'll be okay. I can manage. It's occupying my time because I don't have to work for the rest of this week. Our whole entire operation has been shut down for the week because of emergency conditions, roads, and weather. So yeah, I have time. I can boil water. I can do the extra. I can try to feed the outdoor cats. There was an outdoor cat that showed up on my porch. Fortunately, when I opened the door, she was there. Her name is Molly. I know her name. I know her name. And I know her name because the lady who lived next door to me, who passed away from COVID 3 weeks ago. Oh my gosh, rest in peace, Linda Joe. She told me, this is Molly. She's a stray. She doesn't want to live in a house, and we just put food and water out for her. So Molly came to my porch, and I thought, oh my gosh, Linda Joe isn't here anymore to feed this beautiful tuxedo cat. So I happened to open the door when she was right on my porch, and I'm like, I'll be right back, Molly. I'll be right back. And I ran in the house, ran back in, and got some food in a bowl and warmed up some water, or put some, from the tea kettle, water in a bowl, put it out there for her, and then immediately started, finished working up this box housing thing that I started working on for a stray cat. So I put that outside as well. It's like a milk crate. With a cardboard liner inside, cardboard box liner inside, and then a black plastic trash bag for insulating the outside and to keep the moisture out. And then I tucked a blanket and a towel in there. I don't know that she's occupied or used the little cat hotel, but it's out there on the porch for anyone to use. So yeah, I have time. I'm doing these kinds of things. I'm not working on the novella in progress. I'm not finishing up short stories. I'm just figuring out how to help others, staying in touch with others, communicating. We're all doing this. Everybody's doing this. My experience is not that unique. I so I'm moving towards the point of saying, like, part of me today as I'm boiling the water and I'm trudging around, it's almost like rote, like, this is what I do, and now I need this, so now I do this, and don't touch this because then you do this, and it's cold, and wear your gloves, keep them in your pockets so you don't have to lose them and try waste time looking for them. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm really getting over this. Like, oh, I can't wait. Let's see, in 3 days, yeah, it'll be up to 58. I mean, yay, 3 days, it'll be better. And then I immediately thought of a Haitian woman who I learned about and watched in a documentary film about 7 or 8 years ago. I channel her, I think of her a lot whenever I'm in a complaining mood, whenever I'm feeling like bereft and without, and oh, I'm struggling. I think of her. I think of that look on her face when she standing inside her tin box shanty, just kind of, you could see her, she's looking at her life's belongings, her personal material belongings there, and knowing this is all I have to work with, and this is all I'll ever have to work with for the foreseeable future. And I think about a woman of, childbearing age and menstruation, and where are the clean towels and the fresh underwear and access to hot running water, and I need soap, and I just, want to feel like, I can be clean. I'm a human being that has a right to feel clean and comfortable moving around in my struggling life, but at least give me, like sanitary napkins and some warm water, and I think, how hard, what a challenge it is for folks who cannot leave their situation. They don't have, 58 degrees in 3 days, and then I'm going to go have Thai food and I'm going to treat myself because I struggled for 4 or 5 days. Woohoo, Texas suffering, So I'm well aware of my privilege, and well aware of this apparent miraculous gesture that some universe creating authoress uh, uh, wrote up, where Tammy Gomez gets to be born in the United States, in in a community where there's some struggle, and she's going to be brown skinned, but she's going to have access to some privilege. She's going to have access most of her life to running water, et cetera, et cetera. And how other folks, by the stroke of a pen, you are condemned to be born in Haiti. And I say condemned, just kind of like, you love the culture, you respect the people and their love of their homeland. That doesn't go away. But the fact that material conditions for people in certain countries and certain counties, like the colonias in South Texas, right along the U.S. Mexico border, children are growing up not knowing such privileges and such comforts, the creature comforts we call them. And I'm thinking, how dare I feel like I'm bored with this suffering and I need to get on with my life, which will be normalized again with the running water, hot and cold, and I can, go out for a jog, and if I'm thirsty, I'll stop and have a coffee to go. I'm not doing indoor dining or drinking any of that type thing right now. But that Haitian woman gets my love. And however meaningful that um, exhalation of positive intentional expression towards her can help her, however, that can somehow land on her shoulders in some kind of like, sister, I'm sorry, or sister, I hope your burden gets lifted a little bit today because I was thinking of you. um I want more of that for all of us in the world. I want for the people who are running ERCOT, is that what it's called? Yeah, ERCOT, to like think of people who are living in their cars right now, or living under their blankets for 2 days plus because they can't get up out of their bed because it's only 40 degrees or 35 in their homes, um, for hours and days on end. Like, ERCOT, you need to be thinking of the people who are struggling and suffering because of decisions you made or didn't make, are not making, and the preparation and the kind of the preemptive solution finding and decision enforcing or whatever. You didn't do the work to help us be ready for this, when I myself knew that stuff was going to hit the fan. I knew it a week ago, over a week ago, and I was fretting. I was doing like preemptive fretting because that's how I roll. I mean, I've struggled. I've lived in a closet before. I was trapped in a bedroom closet for 55 hours straight with no water, no food, no phone. Yeah, there was no way for me to call for help for 55 hours. So I've been through that. I know what it's like to not have anybody helping you for a long time, and you have to just reach for your inner resources. Like even with no water, no company, nobody to chat with or commiserate with, you kind of find some sources. They're eternal, they're internal, and they're eternal. You just have to dig. They're there. Those sources of your own resilience are in there. So, oh yeah, just to let you know how I got out of the closet, I scraped, scratched, eked out a hole in the closet door so I could poke my finger through to turn the latch and open the door so I could exit. 55 hours after being accidentally trapped. I created my own accident because of, yeah, being too busy and preoccupied and careless. Anywho, yeah, struggle is real for a lot of us, and struggle is realer for millions of us. And so let's keep those folks in mind. The people who are, they're protesting in the streets of Chile because the juggler was murdered for not showing his ID. The people in Myanmar who are struggling under martial law and this imposition of just, just chaos there. And their democratically elected leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, is now under house arrest again. Like, talk about being sequestered in your own home for days at a time. She's been sequestered in her own home under house arrest for years at a time. So this is, a temporary struggle for me. Again, 55 hours, been there, done that, trapped in a closet. 4 or 5 days without hot water, and my toes, I can barely feel them. I've been there, done that, and I'll be fine. In 3 days, like I said, I'll be out on the streets getting fresh air, doing porch hangouts with 1 or 2 people that I know, and they're biking distance from me. So yeah, consider your struggle. It's real, but there are others, so many millions of others, whose struggles are realer on a daily without end. We could make it a song that never ends. But we could have it have a happy ending depending on the kind of pressure we put on institutions, organizations, agencies like ERCOT, which to me sounds like an acronym or a new name for a Disney subsidiary, theme park that has no restrooms and no running water. So yeah, ride the rides, but there's no place for you to drink water because we turn it off because we're ERCOT. Brought to you by Disney. No, I'm kidding. I made that up. So yeah, I think their organization needs a different type of name, like a better acronym. So I came up with one. It's FANTE. Fíjate, ahora no tenemos energía. FANTE, F-A-N-T-E. Fíjate, ahora no tenemos. Wow, check it out. Right now, we have no energy or power. I mean, people have power. So I really reluctantly use the word power in terms of what's going on to us, because I never want to have it come out of my mouth and be misquoted, or somebody like just kind of excise that little clip where Tammy says, I have no power. I have power. I have tons of power. I have people power. I have individual power. I have agency. Collectively, we have tons of power. We can power up a city with our own inner light, our own inner resiliences. How do we tap into that is another question. And how do we prepare so that when these kinds of downfalls and moments of extreme struggle happen, that we're ready, we're prepared, even when ERCOT is like on the Ferris wheel, apparently at Disney, enjoying their wealth and their privilege and their power, their type of power, without thinking about how people will be impacted by their decisions during a polar vortexas moment. Wow, so much to think about. Stay woke and stay warm, and share your ideas. I love hearing how people are constructing little forts in their living room near the fireplace, cuddling with cats and wearing scarves and things like that to stay warm and safe and close to the ones you love. Okay, peace out.